Welcome back to the arena where Game 2 between Splyce and Origen is about to get underway here. And we are still here once again, of course, for our last game.
Yeah, we had some emergency currywurst infusion to give us some energy.
Definitely feel better.
That's the downside of caster life. Like you go into a break and you're like, okay, we're done. Just like,
let's go. And then we're here. So
you fight the bloatedness and you occasionally have to use the cough button.
It's also very dangerous, especially with what we're wearing as well. One small misstep and we're screwed.
Yeah, that's why you wear as many layers as you can.
So you can like shed layers if you get. That's
you
smart.
go for the onion approach.
That's why you went for the 3-piece today.
Yeah, I'm a little tired. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So I was expecting to spill on my jacket, but then I could just take it off and blame the heat. You know.
Smart adaptation. I like
That's how you do it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's just so warm today. It's totally not because I spilled all over my jacket.
Well, we need to see adaptation right now from OG because losing that game, they're in 9th place still. Like, they need to get to 7th place, and they are a long ways away from it right now. Losing that hard against another team like Splyce. And, like, they need wins, and they need it now. Like, this week is crucial for them. And we can start talking about their, like, road to Worlds and, like, how they're doing in Gauntlet. But first, they need to get there, and that's not what we're seeing from them.
No, I think we need to change the narrative here. Step away from Origen, which is a bit of a train wreck right now, sadly, and just look at Splyce and see how well can they close out a series against a weaker team? How dominant are they truly looking? Are they the best team in Europe right now? Because yes, they are still behind G2 Esports, but in terms of the super impressive run that Splyce have done, like in their last 16 games coming up to the day, they were 14-2. So like now in the last 70, they're 15-2. That's so impressive, and they can just keep adding wins to it. Yamato, I guess, trying to like
physically prep as players here.
See, in Europe, when some of the budgets aren't as high as over in North America, and we can't hire like a sports psychologist to cook and like everything, and one Splyce just goes for the all-in-one.
Right.
Yamato is like the Swiss Army knife of Splyce. Not only is he their Playboy model, if Splyce ever debuts swimwear, it'll be Yamato.
Leading the charge on that one.
Leading the charge. He's also apparently a masseuse.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Very important skill to have.
Of coaches.
Getting those shoulders relaxed.
Did that ever happen to you, Crepo? Like, how much of a strain is it after playing hours of League? Do your shoulders hurt, or is it more like arm pain? Wrist, for example?
When I was still dating my girlfriend, my shoulders hurt every day. I'm like, they carried really hard today. I was like, yeah, I guess I need another one. Remarkably went away after I became single. But yeah.
Well, that got sad.
We're deep diving into emotional spirals.
The Crepo deep dive. Still.
Hey, I was looking at Yamato. Why are we here again? Like we have.
Yeah, we need to get eyes on the
like
Swiss Army knife of coaches.
five better players. There.
Yeah, he might be doing something new right now that we don't know about.
Yeah. I wonder if we can like. That's how you beat like any like boss that like absorbs things. In the history of video games, or even like I think in Ghostbusters, like you overload them. I wonder if you can overload Yamato with attention. Because he soaks it up, right? And like every time there's a camera on him, he like starts nodding and winking.
Sure.
I wonder if you keep the camera on him long enough,
he explodes.
He'll like overdrive. He'll like start twitching his face. Like he'll like perma winking. His eyes will be closed because he's winking that much. It's definitely a theory we need to test as we move into playoffs. Right now we're in Champs League, Pelsi.
Yes, we are, Crepo. Let's get to those band champions. Cassiopeia and Syndra are going to take everything away from Power of Evil. Everything he owns, it's not going to be available. Fiora, first ban. Take that one away from Wonder. Did that last game as well as their first ban.
First, they take the playoff dream. Then they take your champions. And in the end, they will take your life in the game. Although Power of Evil was already kind of handing it to Splyce last game. Had some interesting engages.
Yes.
I think is what we can say. That's the word in Europe.
Interesting.
Peculiar.
Peculiar. Many good words to describe peculiar situations. Malzahar taken off the table as well. Very strong pick right now. Elise aimed at Amazing, had that last game. He's doing pretty well with it, starting off the game, but ultimately was not enough to bring them victory on the Rift.
Yeah, let's look at potential Shen ban here from Origen, third rotation. It's going to be the Karma. I believe Splyce is interested in at least picking up that Shen early. They play very well with Wundo on Shen. I think it fits them very well because they Splyce as a team are just strong at kind of letting advantages flow from one area into the map into another. And then just doesn't mean just one Shen ulti, you know, like they'll push up bot, go mid, Abyssal Voyage top. Like that play for me highlighted that Splyce look at the map as a whole rather than individual pieces that every player is trying to influence, you know. Splyce gets as close to like looking at an RTS where one guy is controlling 5 units as opposed to where 5 masterminds are controlling their individual units. It's a bit like a TSM Immortals comparison, in my opinion, where like TSM moves as like an RTS, and Immortals, they usually win their matches by individually outplaying.
Interesting concept. I actually very like that analogy, but Shen, first pick, so following that one, of course. And OG, they have the option of locking in the Cogmore again, and they're going to do it. Tam Kench as well.
At first you don't succeed. Try again.
Try again.
But don't feed.
But difficult. Again, could go mid lane, but Peke's picked it up just this previous series. Reckless picked it up earlier today on the other stream.
Oh, this is probably a scrim comp that OG have been running with moderate success, and they say, you know what, we made some mistakes in the last game, let's just try it again. We could have won the game, and I think technically that's true.
Yeah.
There were chances for them to win if they didn't fall prey to some of the outplays, and now they also have counter pick in mid lane, so they may have a preferential matchup here against that Talia LeBlanc, you know, in that equation.
Sure. There's a lot taken off the table as well from Splyce at that mid lane champion pool with that counter pick available. Also the Tam Kench this time for that Cogmore, which I like. Just able to eat him up when he's in trouble.
And another hyper-mobile mid laner for Senkux that will play on side lanes in the mid game. What a bold surprise here, and backed up by Shen. Yes, this composition won't have much play clear. Yes, if it falls behind, Splyce will get snowballed on and they will look horrible, but they're fine taking that risk because their mid-game decisions or centered around making picks seem to work more often than not. So on paper, it leads to them winning these games.
Rek'Sai was also paired with that one for Splyce there, going to Trashy. First 3 picks for them. OG now need to look for potential top laner. They have the TK for a flex.
Damn.
Looking towards the jungler for sure.
The KL tribute. There's a couple of KL one tricks in European solo queue. That champion does a disgusting amounts of damage. But when that champion loses, it's always its team's fault too.
Right.
According to that one guy in solo queue. In a more graphic way. But it's not going to be the KL. Looks like the control mage comes out for power reveal here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is it
be
though?
Victor. I don't know. We'll find out as we get into game prep.
The problem with the control mage and Kog'Maw is that one of them has to play on a side lane against the Kassadin, and none of them want to. So unless Origen get a lead and they keep brute forcing a group as 4, they will have an incredibly hard time dealing with Kassadin on the side lane that can get assisted by a Rek'Sai, by a Shen. So Origen, they're looking for a pure team fight brute force comp that's gonna siege, and it might work out because there's limited wave clear on Splyce, and if they can protect this Kog'Maw around objectives, it can look great. But if they fall behind again like they did earlier, they'll keep losing their side lanes and they will get picked off trying to like fix the situation.
Right.
And then Origen will be in the same amount of trouble because now there is an even harder counter against this Kog'Maw in the Bard because it's so incredibly easy to use Tempered Fate on both Victor and the Kog'Maw.
It's actually what you were saying last Champion Select as well before the Tam Kench got picked up, when we were going to see the Bards to lock down the Cogmore with that low mobility.
Love me some Bard. It's another champion as well that gets stronger if you can play it from the center of the map. Splyce right now, their composition in the mid game, Shen on one lane, Kassadin on the other, Rek'Sai wherever on the map, and then has an expansive tunnel network. Then you can even accelerate rotations here with the magical journeys. Like the fact that you can be 3 seconds quicker than somebody else because you can bypass walls means so much in terms of rotations. So if Splyce get the control of the game again, they can make some significant picks, but they need to be careful because if they run headfirst into a team fight, they are only running 2 damage dealers. They only have Tristana and Kassadin. Both are single target damage dealers for the majority. Yes, there's EOE on Kassadin, but people don't stack up as much for it, and they need to isolate the targets. More importantly, Hybrid's Braum can entirely negate Kobe in a team fight with the shield, which means Splyce need to be very careful in their approach to skirmishes.
OG, there was good examples last game as well for them finding brute force fights, starting off engages, trying to get their composition into it. So again, they'll have to do it this game. As with the aforementioned reasons of that control mage mid lane and the 1-3-1 coming in here from Splyce again. And we have the full compositions now gearing up for this game. Important game for both teams. OG still in the race for 7th. Splyce looking to challenge for first. They can still do it. A win here means 3 points. Trying to catch up to G2, who lost the game earlier today. So they only got 1 point from that series. So if anything, it's easier for them to try and claim first place from G2 in the final stretch.
G2 just need 1-2-0. I think if G2 get that tomorrow, obviously they're still in control of their own fate. But yeah, Splyce can definitely close the gap.
Now that they did drop that one game. So there is the potential now, but still, it will rely on this win here, and we'll need to be clean from that, what we want to see from them. Splyce, hashtag SPY win if you want, or think they will win this game. Jump on Twitter, use the hashtag OG win if you think they can pull it back, make it the 1-1 here.
And this is a super cool bot lane matchup to look at in a vacuum. Sadly, a lot of it gets influenced by jungle pathing, but if these guys know exactly where the junglers are, Kog'Maw Braum into Tristana Bard is super fun to watch, because if the Braum actually has the bravado, for lack of a better word, suitable on broadcast, to go in, you can actually make some really cool plays, because Q-Flash for Braum means like you have 2 stacks, and then Kog'Maw W is so quick in delivering the next stacks that you can almost look for insta-stuns with that Hurricane Barrage. And then there's so much damage here that despite it having a range disadvantage, you actually have all-in potential on the likes of Bard and Trist. The other side, though, if one Q-Stand connects from Bard to the creeps, Tristana can just jump in, explode the E, get another jump reset, and things go rough.
Do you think it's likely we'll see standard lanes here? Do you need the team have like the massive advantage in those 2v2s or 1v1s?
I think Splyce is slightly better off in both scenarios, because I think Bard in the swap is okay. So is Braum technically, but Kobe will take down tower a lot quicker than a Kog'Maw will. So Splyce is slightly more beneficial in a swap because of the Tristana pick, and both Tonks can play even and can play in swap, so...
All right, let's go. Get into this second game between Splyce and OG. Looking to secure this second game here between the two teams. Try to make it that 2-0 for Splyce here and try and solidify a potential first place over G2. Still not entirely in their hands for tomorrow as well, but we'll see what they can pull out. OG desperately need points, and they need it right now. They're going to try and make it happen with this Kog'Maw pick.
All right, Kobe walked out there. It was actually quite dangerous. Yeah, they're just going to get the ward. That's good, actually. That matters a lot more. That is a ward worth cheering for. Because unlike many wards that people cheer for, this one actually has an impact.
Yep, able to clear out with the extra attack speed from Hurricane Barrage as well. Nice. Double team from OG. Actually, no, with 2 people, they could have cleared out anyway. I'm done. But
I mean, in this particular case, you're still right, because Beckett had to take 2 steps before his first hit. BD carry has to take 2 steps. He just usually doesn't have enough time to get the second shot off. But yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
I mean, nuances.
Got my
nuances. Back. I got you, man.
Power of Evil is on this Victor right here. Interesting point you brought up in Champion Select, actually, with OG having to brute force these fights, not easily able to put someone side lane.
Yeah.
If anyone was going to run a control mage with TP, it would be Power of Evil, but he didn't do it this game.
All right, somehow they figured out it's a lane swap. Okay, yeah, it's because they just saw. So they didn't go for the Gromp because they knew it was a lane swap, so they're going to leave that camp available. Amazing speed low here.
Oh, wow, he's being tagged down, and he's ticking out from the Ignite Flash after auto attack. Mickey X onto the tower, but the tower shot goes onto Kobe. Soaz still chasing after Mickey X as well. Q comes down. Soaz finds a kill in return. Now he's onto Kobe. Soaz realizes he's not winning this trade. Minion wave arrives. Explosive charge. He'll flash away.
Yeah, that's a dead jungler in the lane swap. What a brutal start for Origen.
Hybrid looking to step up here as well. 2 versus 1. Got the level 2 on Trashy. Trying to just be annoying.
Okay.
There's a TP coming out as well. Wonder. He's still pretty healthy, and Soaz finally arrives, but he's very late.
Love me some lane swap adaptations. Expect to slow down the wave long enough for Soaz to come in, and I guess it makes sense. You know, the TP usually keeps the creep alive, but right now, Origen are in place. So right now it's 1 man, 1 mission, Kabe fighting against 3 people from Origen in the race for tempo. As nobody's there helping him push in. So wave didn't hit at the right time here. Look at Splyce botching the lane swap. This is a good start from Origen. Accelerating that lane swap despite dying.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened in the first couple of minutes of this game.
I mean, Amazing died, took a lot of resources, and because Mickey died on the back end of that, obviously, jungler is not influential in terms of speed, but it's influential here. So this is a duel that's outside of this tempo equation, right? Junglers are not important in the 3v0 push. They're not one of 3v push. But Trashy right now can kind of dominate Amazing, who is still level 2. Trashy's 3.5 right here, so that's where the difference is. Sometimes you don't always look at gold, you look at experience too on all the members.
Okay, so 3.5 minutes in now. What are we looking in terms of... Okay, so both towers are going to drop at the same time.
Yeah, but Kobe is sharing
that
he's greedy.
experience.
No, okay, he walked away just in time.
Okay, and the tower should go to Chen as well. Perfect. And the 400 gold as well. Farm advantage over to Peke.
Yeah,
and big farm advantage to Power Reaver as well as this wave in the mid lane will resolve.
Mickey with a good portal in base, very important to judge. Let's see. Yeah, Tristana sliding all the way. Those base portals very important, saving some times slots. Because right now the Kog'Maw's top already, pushing away Wunder from farm, and that's generally what it means. You know, in lane swaps for the last time since we're gonna lose them soon. Tempo means your AD carry base sooner, which means he's gonna push out the enemy top laner sooner, which means less farm for him. Slight farm advantage on Soaz right now, because he could farm a little bit more. He also spotted the enemy AD carry come on the ward, which means he can start pushing out the wave just a tiny bit. So minor farm advantage for Soaz.
In the end, and Senko's come over and actually pick up this first blue from Trashy.
But because Trashy's so far ahead, and Amazing's on the wrong side of the map here, Splyce are going to go for a greedy 2-man defense with the caveat that Senkis can join with teleport, because he has a teleport advantage over his opposing mid laner. So I like this move from Splyce. They're just going to catch the wave here, and now they're going to turn the lane swap to their favor, because Soaz can't catch 2v1 himself, and Amazing is on the wrong side of the map. Like, Soaz could catch this with Amazing, but it would be dangerous because they would be facing 2 more teleports.
Right.
So Splyce are really good at finding positions where their teleports net them advantages.
It's funny, we were joking about it at the start of the series as well, and looking for the macro. Oh, Hybrid caught out by Wunder, or maybe the other way around actually. I mean, Soaz is behind him, Spirit's Refuge.
And blocks the auto attack, which means it actually doesn't block the ground. So
a little bit close.
cheeky.
He's fine. And Soaz is a little ways away from Hybrid.
Yeah, but that means the Kog'Maw is now at risk of getting all in if he gets close. Obviously now that Kobe uses Z no longer. But because his support gets slowed down, Kog'Maw has to be careful in his matchup. And Amazing gets revealed by the wards. Now Trashy says, okay, I see enemy jungler, he's level 4. I'm just going to power farm my 3 camps here, get to 6 ASAP, and he's spiraling ahead because Amazing got dropped early on that invade on Krugs.
Significantly ahead, already the level advantage. Actually going to take a look at Trashy. He's about a third way through his level 5. Amazing Power Reaver looking for the invade. Power over the wall will mean Trashy will drag it away.
I mean, what's Amazing doing here? His jungle just got gutted, you know, look at what he has available too. Yes, right now it's only half a level, or a third, but it's even more coming up right now because Amazing only has Gromp left. While Trashy had a really quick 3-camp clear, and he's going to hit level 6 probably off the Krugs.
Trashy is exactly 1 full level ahead. Yeah, 1 more camp should secure level 6, and Amazing will just ding level 5 off this. There you go, after the Gromp. So yeah, not in a good position at all after that first kill onto him.
And look again, you know, this bot lane loves grouping with the Shen who has a teleport. Just guiding the wave in, making sure that there's no Amazing Soaz action to shut down Wunder. Just escorting this wave into the tower, getting some damage on it. And Wunder usually would have to teleport bot here, but they actually have Trashy catching up. And does he have a tunnel somewhere topside? No, not that close. That would be the ideal scenario here for Splyce, but I love their kind of fluctuating lane assignments. They're not tunneling on the rigid approach of like, yeah, top laner always needs to be side lane right now. Jungle picks up some side lane farm, neutralizes the wave. They fix the wave, bounce it, then they send Wunder back top again here to catch. They keep confusing their opponent.
Good cross-map macro plays out from Splyce. It's good to see from them.
Yeah, it does come at a cost for Kobe, because he's not farming as well as Speke. Speke is always just stuck in the lane. Kobe is always moving around. But Kobe is pretty much, right now it's either Wunder gets shafted or Kobe, and they're actually electing to lose some farm on Kobe and send him to the bot lane all the way. But he has boots too, as well, to make his roaming a lot easier in this lane swap.
A lot of movement between lanes in this one. And Peke wants to get as big as possible. He will be the crux of the composition. Once again, as we saw it last time. Once he gets involved in fights, he does a lot of damage. If you can't burst him down at the very start, he will destroy the front line.
All 5 champs on the Splyce lineup have hard counters to Kog'Maw though.
Yeah.
Taunt, yep. Knock up, yep. Cassin flanking, yep.
Tempered Fate.
Tempered Fate, double, yep.
They have ways to deal with the Kog'Maw for sure, even more than last time actually.
Alright, Wunder backing off in time here because Origen's threatening to dive on the other side. Trashy's in position in case a Lonesome Ranger shows up here. Tower trade. I imagine Splyce is going to keep pushing for tier 2 here because they have Tristana. And there's still 3 members revealed in top side. So Splyce have kind of a race advantage here. That might prompt, you would think, Abyssal Void from Soas, but he's actually just level 4. So this tier 2 tower is about to take a whole lot of damage here in the bot lane. And remember, they can just straight up dive Soas if Wunder gets 6 at one point.
Very
Still,
back, yeah.
3/4 off.
Tunnel after by Trashy, they're setting up the tunnel as well for the TP. Locking in Soaz underneath this tower. Shadow Dash onto Soaz as well, who'll go into grey health. Manages to pick up Trashy. Kobe has to jump away. Power of Evil with the punish on the ultimate. Mickey X and Trashy very low themselves. 10 cooks jump over the wall.
That was just greedy. You don't go for the dive there. You're just focused on the turret here. Splyce trying to dive a level 5 Tahm Kench with grey health, with no idea of who's behind him in the lane. That was a fantastic portal from Mickey on the back end, but if anybody shows up around that corner, he's just waiting to catch 3 free kills. That was incredibly greedy from Splyce there. They make their way out, but turret priority probably would have been the best choice. Very easy to say from our bird's eye view here, but good aggressive defense from Origen, and the fact that Soa stayed alive was actually impressive.
4 summoners traded for 5 summoners from Splyce, so it wasn't a massive deficit, just a lot burnt for both teams. Mickey X is still roaming around. So after all of that, no kills went down, and bottom tower, more importantly, did not fall for Splyce as they came into the push.
And Kobe slightly trailing in farm here. About 30 CS down against this Kog'Maw, and he's one of the 2 main damage dealers on the side of Splyce. So their priority around getting Wunder ahead will need to be paid off once Wunder has ultimate available. Splyce have 2 globals that got punished in this lane swap. The fact that Temper Fate comes online late and the fact that Stand United is very late actually punishes their composition quite a bit. Because relative strength also matters, you know. Tempered Fate, if you are a level 5 Bard, walking up to level 9 Victor, hang on.
Oh, Kobe knocking Power Vivo into the team. Sencooks, easy pick up there with the Q. Amazing trying to follow up, but really nicely played there by Splyce.
I was about to say, if you're a level 5 Bard, walking up to level 8 or 9 Victor, you have issues. If you bring your team, obviously, like Splyce just did, then, well, you have a free kill, and now he has Tempered Fate available here. Origen looking to defend. There's Wunder's ultimate available too in here. This very dynamic approach to the map, though. You can counter it if you're Origen, if you always look at every factor and you back off in time, but sometimes you just snooze. And when you snooze, you lose. At this point, you lose your life if you're Power Reveal. No flash available. Kobe came in swinging from the side.
And taken out. Amazing rotating into this mid lane. I mean, they can't really get the siege off here. Sencooks is there to defend along with Trashy, so OG will head up instead, try and secure some vision, place down the pink, take that one away. Rip Held is up, so it's grab, so see if OG can take that one away as well. I mean, Trashy's on bomb side, so it should be good to go. And they had a ward tracking him, so yeah, OG will easily pick up this Herald.
Yeah, OG take control of top side. Right now, bottom side belongs to Splyce, so they can do some preemptive Dragon Vision, perhaps. Power Evil still needs to be careful. He can ghost out of Tempered Fate, but his flash is still down for a while. And then it's very easy to follow up with Chasm, potentially with Rek'Sai too.
Now we'll go over the summers. So Trashy starting off this Cloud Dragon will be the first one of the game. 12 minutes in, and doesn't really need help from the team either. Should be able to take it away. Meanwhile, Origen will take the opportunity to push up this top lane, place down some deep vision, try and play around these lanes. So as also pushing up the top lane, trying to set up this push. Yeah, you can see Cloud Dragon finally goes down.
Will likely have to be a turret trade here. If Splyce aggressively defend, they may get a little bit too bold here. They're 4v2 here, and they're going in.
Body slam, flash, Mickey X knocked into the team. Wunder trying to survive.
That's so good.
Will buy some time. That was should be a kill. Mickey X still very low, still not dead. Peke steps very far in to finally pick him up, but Sencooks, enough time for him to rotate into this top lane trade. Wunder is following OG down, but now has to turn tail.
They're just buying time here because look at the bottom lane. Kope is approaching the inhibitor turret. That was a really good play reactively from Mickey X. I don't still agree with the setup because it was too bold and he could have outplayed, but Kobe's taking down his tower.
Recall got stopped as well from Amazing. He's not going to make it back in time, and Kobe finds a second tower. It's going to be this inhibitor tower.
Tempered Fate was essential in buying time, enough for Wunder to land, and then Amazing was tanking the turret because the turret wasn't included in that Tempered Fate. That was a beautiful ulti from Mickey. It still was hubris from Splyce to go for such an aggressive trade, but they outplay Origen entirely. They trade 2 turrets for a single kill.
Oh, Power of Evil getting caught out in the mid lane as well. Finds the knock up. As Cosmic Binding, Sencooks as well. Trashy with the final auto will find another kill in the mid lane.
The kills are equalized. Expeke is looking for cheese plays at this point. Wunder, he misses Q, misses
He misses everything. Peke doesn't get the kill. Wunder instantly shadow dashes away.
And that loses so much momentum because now Expeke spent like 15-20 seconds setting up that play. He has to clear the wave, then base, which means Splyce will control the map as 5 people much earlier, and they can start building towards their next play.
Man, Origen losing so much from that last sequence of plays, dropping behind in gold, in towers, in control, in dragons. DKX finding finding Amazing, or maybe the other way around. Hybrid is there, along with Peke, but he's low on mana. He's going back to base.
Yeah, the second Mickey gets close to a wall, he's fine. Some cheeky side steps too. Look at the waves. They're so deep into Origen territory that everybody can just walk up and start adding more pressure to it. Splyce is not afraid right now of Origen.
Playing well across the board. Looking at some item pickups. Again, Peke going for that Wit's End first. Looking for the immediate power spike and not to get bursted down by Sencooks.
Yeah, Spies are looking for some deeper wards here. They have 1 Sidestone ward left. They probably want to place that at red buff together, because then they have TP wards. Mickey, just be careful. W checks the brush and then Rek'Sai checks it. There's a brief area of vision from that bar W, and again, he places it at red buff because now Sencooks can go in with piggybacking Shen if he wants to. There's 2 teleports available, so Peke and Hybrid can't overextend at all. And Splyce take dominant control of topside jungle while having the lane priority in the bottom lane because they funneled so much farm early into Wunder. So this is a very tough point for Origen. Any Tempered Fate results in kills. Right here, he could open Tempered Fate on 2 members, for example.
Cosmic Binding does not find a second target behind Hybrid. They're still pushing up. What is OG's goal right now? Are they just trying to stall, trying to get Peke into more?
Body Slam Flash, or Q Flash from Braum. They need to find somebody overextending and pick him off, but it's so hard against double TP plus Shen ulti.
Sencooks, that was a big jump over the wall. And Splyce looking for picks, moving around as a gang squad. Amazing, hovering around. He's got the rest of the team there as well, but looks like we'll just see everyone back away very briefly. 15 minutes in here.
Yeah, right there though. That's one of those opportunities where Sencooks needs to be a little careful. But yeah, Victor, look where Power of Evil is. He's like going left, right, and this is the problem with this composition. If you don't brute force as 4, you'll have a Kog'Maw and a Victor that both want to be mid lane. One guy will get shafted, will be told to go side lane, but that guy can't push out because he doesn't have innate quick push or mobility to survive. Like Victor can't overextend to the point where the wave is parked right now, which means Origen is bleeding side lane farm. Whereas opposed Shen and Cassin can always overextend into these areas and soak up side lane farm, which results in a gold deficit, or gold advantage rather. Which means Origen's reaction to this should be to base and brute force a play. Body Slam Flash, Braum Q Flash, Braum Flash R, anything. Because otherwise they will kind of die a very slow death where they run out of blood, run out of gold.
At what point do Splyce start splitting? They have Sencooks in the
At any point. Splyce
right
always
now.
want to split.
Okay.
Splyce only group up when they converge after a split. That's what they do, because they have TP advantage. They always want to create skirmishes and picks where they have numbers advantage or major positional advantage. But it all starts from splitting up the map.
They're starting off with Sencooks. Dragging the spawning in a minute, so probably going to maybe keep some members around there, see if they can secure that one, and then maybe split up. 17 minutes here. And Origen looking for opportunities, but it's hard to find a captain. It's hard to find anyone, really.
Look at how deep Sencooks is, and imagine the map is flipped and that's a Victor. Like, Victor can't be that deep. So Sencooks can just jump in here, get a reset on Peke, and Peke has flash.
Big combo onto Peke. Sencooks is going to keep up the chase.
That's
Riftwalk once again. He is in very deep. He's got Wunder on top of him. Going to find the kill, but it's a 1-for-1.
I don't think he can do that into a Kog'Maw that has W. If W was down, I think he can go for the re-engage. But that was a little bit too bold.
A lot of damage. Power of Evil pinned against the wall there with the Cosmic Binding. Hybrid knocked back from the Buster shot in from Kobe. And Splyce, that's a 1-for-1 trade, so they can't push all the way in here. But yeah, going very deep for that kill.
Yeah. Was a little bit of hubris there from Senkux. No need for that. Peke already flashed. Just charge up again. The whole power of Cassin is the fact that you can jump in auto E for a reset. So, which means your second jump, your W is still on cooldown. And you obviously don't have E available either, so you just do a lot of less damage.
2 and 1 now, just giving him a little bit more gold as well for Peke, so he's accelerating towards that second item now. Looks like it will be the Hurricane.
Now look at PoE though, as he start using his ulti for zone. Because if he's allowed to walk up, you know, Cobb is gonna wreck this turret. So Origen are using their team fighting tools to kind of wave clear against his split push from Splyce, and this is how seemingly super strong compositions look so weak in game. And this is exactly what happened in Season 2 all the time. People would draft pure teamfight comps, you know, a Momo, a Nivea, Cho'Gath, like anything, you know, Wealth of CC, and like, oh my god, if these guys group once, they're gonna tear you apart. Then expect it lock Zed and just split push all day. Nobody can 1v1 the Zed, so 2 people go 2v1 the Zed. Turns out the other part of the map is gets played 4v3 then, and they win.
Yeah, and Zed makes his way out anyway.
Yeah.
So you just don't get any win from that situation. Splyce onto this Mountain Dragon. Amazing, trying to get in range for a potential steal, but Wunder is zoning away, and no,
Flying
don't
teleport.
want any of that at all. Also with the potential of Senkux coming in. He
Used it.
the TP.
Yeah, he TP'd in, but then he realized that his team was just gonna finish Dragon. He wanted to be ready for a preemptive engage.
Gets to cancel. A little bit of extra cooldown on that one for the next play.
Yeah, this is where Amazing is looking for body slam flash. He knows he has to force something. So keep your eyes on him and his zone.
OG pushing down the mid lane here. Peke getting a lot of damage off from long range, but W is worn off, so...
Yeah, whenever W is down, you just gotta be so careful.
Yeah, now they back away. Did OG even see if Senkux TP? They may not even have that information.
May not.
Yeah. Senkux going into the top lane now to carry on split pushing. Just be careful, 2 members around the top side for OG. But he is Kassadin.
He is Kassadin. And Soaz doesn't want to lose more farm chasing, so I think he's good. Yeah, this is the opening of this part is extraordinary, but Expect obviously still has heal, and once that W comes online, like right now, like I don't know, this is not a playoff play for Senkux, especially if you still have Shen ulti. Because he could just back off and Peke would have to base the second he gets all his spells up. Because he can actually do R flash and it's undodgeable. Kassadin can R first and then flash to travel over the damage and it still lands. Similar to when Fizz jumps off his pole for Tidal and Trickster,
yep.
he will carry over the damage. So you can just R flash his Kassadin once your E and W are still up again and you will one-shot the column.
That is not what he did.
Not what he did.
Still had the potential. Still has flash even. Didn't even use flash in that scenario.
Mickey is respecting body slam flash right there, so he's going for a little portal. Like it's all these little things that Splyce do well. We are nitpicking. Like that one play, it's still a kill trade on the Kassadin, which is a global. So, like,
I mean, we have to nitpick in this situation. I mean, Splyce second place right now in the league versus OG ninth place in the second last rather. So I mean, we need to pick apart like these small mistakes because obviously we're looking towards Splyce maybe going to Worlds.
All right, this is a play where Amazing wants to go in, Mickey wants to Tempered Fate.
Pops the ult, he goes through the portal but doesn't make it to the other side. Okay, good play from Amazing there, taking down this mid tower. OG grouping up, brute forcing his plays now.
Yeah, Wunder, Stand United. Is that available? Is that
it was available, yeah.
It was available. And this is what Origen need to do. This is the reaction to 1-3-1. It's like, okay, you guys gotta play one guy on each side lane. Guess what? We're just gonna battering ram through the mid lane. Whoever defends, we're just gonna insta-engage on them. And by the time you land, this fight is 4v5. So this is the right approach for Origen. They read the situation well. Amazing goes in, but it comes at the cost of his flash, which means Origen can only do this once every 5 minutes.
At the very least, they did manage to pick up that tower and the inner turret. So this will be a counter push in from Splyce. Senkux going very deep, Trashy there. Also tanking up, Wunder coming in from the side, looking for the shadow dash. And we'll find Peke. He's dropping very low. He's dead. Wunder trying to make his way out now will be eaten up by Soaz. Trashy still staying in the midst of the fight. Senkux with the insta-kill onto Hybrid. Peke and both of the bot laners down now. Trashy trying to follow. Amazing is very low. Kobby flashes in, picks up the kill. Senkux going even deeper, but maybe too deep onto Soaz. Power View trying to get in range. Laser comes out. Auto attack will finish him off. Just too deep. 3-4-2 trade.
Senkux is a little young to be a Sum 41 fan, but he was definitely into deep here. So as Mickey!
Double Tempered Fate finds Soaz. Knock up from Trashy. Should be able to find the second one to power the
Mickey!
flash forwards. And the shutdown out from Kobby. Beautiful play.
You wiggle that belly, Mickey. That was a beautiful bar play. He was trying to go for the 1v1 with the Ignite for the style points, but then Soaz was trying to mind game him. He's like, you know what, I got your Ignite for free with great health. But then he does a 2-man Tempered Fate here, and more importantly, he holds right after that. This is how it all starts. Brute Force on the tower, because Wunder's flanking. I like it. Peke taunt flashed on by Wunder. Great. Peke does not get eaten, because Soaz is just in the fight when Peke dies. Really unfortunate. Wunder survives so long. Senkix will eventually get a little greedy here, but I think we can all start looking forward to a real greedy in this fight. Which was the card.
And don't even see it because action is opening up. Hybrid steps up to the wall to try and get that Baron ward, but will be Punish Flash over the wall and swaps places with Senkux and the rest of OG all trying to make it out alive, but Hybrid not gonna be so lucky. Soaz and Peke going off to the top side. Amazing dropping down into the bot, and Splyce still grouped up, heading towards this Baron.
Yeah, it's gonna be risky if they just want to start that Baron immediately though. I don't think they want to reset here. Kaguma still alive, Victor coming from base. Full resources, but Splyce making yet another pick here. Amazing is counting down to his flash. Like, that's the turning point for Origen. The second body slam flash is available. They can find out if they can grasp Kobe out of the claws of Splyce, maybe even force Shen ulti on him, but then immediately one-shot him, which is entirely possible with this lineup. Origen can still win fights, let's not forget.
Peke still hits like a truck. We've seen that last game where it's just like, well, OG are behind, but you get Peke into a position where he can just stand still and open fire, then do a lot of damage, but getting into his positions is hard when Splyce is constantly making pressure plays.
Splyce has been good for a while now, which means they actually don't have their side lanes in the right position. So unless Senkux can land some poke on some people here by jumping in and QEing, Origen can actually aggressively take control of these wards. Looking for some poke on Amazing, but they're not quite sure. Here we go.
Let's not jump over the wall. Amazing is surprisingly squishy. Gets the body slam onto 2, but he's still by himself. Power of Evil just did not respond. Mickey X coming in as well.
Look at Shen at the side here. Wunder, this Power Evil, no flash available, so Wunder just needs to approach and hold his taunt. He holds his taunt.
Trying to do the 100-meter dash, but didn't make it in time. Will be shut down by Wunder and the team. Soaz comes in to try and assist, but he's also gonna meet his fate. And Soaz, he's surviving for a little bit longer, but the great help will only buy some time. 3 fast kills to Splyce.
Yeah, Splyce take a shortcut around the corner, and they walk to Baron here. 3 pickoffs here, and that's so hard for Origen to defend. When Senkux is lurking around the corner here, 6-2 and 4, double items by Kassadin building up. The Hybrid is praying for a Q-steal, but I don't know what he's even doing this close to the enemy base here.
No, Senkux is gonna chase him.
Yeah, this is tilt, you know, this is where like all hopes disappear. Like, what is the support gonna do walking up the Baron? Q-steal it? At this point, 10,000 gold behind. Oh, what a large margin here.
It's crushing for OG, and they're honestly not looking to win this game from here on out. And I've just been informed that Giants picking up their Game 1 win on the opposite stream means top 6 is now locked in for playoffs. But gonna hold that as Peke caught out, just straight up.
Yeah. Splyce getting cocky. This team of humble 5 players, you know, that were no star players, have made at least like 5 taunt moves in this game. I mean, I'm all for trash talk, I'm all for cockiness, but then
there's a line, right? But
there's a line, but there's like, it just backfires all the time. Still remember the first time I trash talked before a match. Never
How'd that go?
No, I got absolutely wrecked by by Edward back in the day. Karma came up to me, he's like, "Yo, Crepo, do you wanna maybe like an interview? You know, just like trash talk a little bit, you know, for the fans, for the hype."
Yeah.
I was like, "Alright, I'll do it." You know, I was like, "I'll teach Edward how to play." Ooh, I got wrecked that match. Got absolutely outplayed. So that's why you gotta be careful. If you start wiggling your body after every kill or start taunting here if you're Splyce, the next time you get outplayed, it's gonna feel twice as bad when the enemy does it to you.
Yeah. Because it'll only work out for so long.
Yeah, conservation of BM, you know? BM give it must be received at one point.
Always goes full circle. And top tower will go down. Yeah, I mean, Splyce is just going to close out against OG right here.
Oh yeah, they're looking for picks. Like, they divide and conquer, you know? They don't need to 1-3-1. They can just kind of pair up Kassadin with whoever. Like, there's flash on Senkux. If Senkux charge up, he can R-flash into Kaguma and almost free-shot him.
Maybe a good opportunity. Bust the shot used.
I like it. The bust shot keeps Gragas busy. His portal can go out. Like, Senkux has kill pressure on Speke at all times here.
Actually knocked into his gravity field, but he'll just straight up tunnel out. Resources used onto this one pick, onto this tank. Nothing happens. Senkux jumps over the wall. Amazing. Misses
tower
the
down.
Body slam. That means top tower is going to go down for Mickey and Cobby, and it's divide and conquer. They commit so many members to less members from Splyce, and they're able to take objectives on the opposite side. Inhibitor goes down. Inhibitor on the bottom side as well, being picked apart piece by piece, death by 1,000 cuts. Amazing getting caught out. One that flashes after finds the kill. Senkos will pick him up. Double Tempered Fate again. Soaz eats up Xpeke, but I don't know if he can make it out. Power of Evil sprinting towards his fountain, but Splyce, they are looking for the win here. This should be very easy for them. OG trying to mount a defense though. Second Nexus turret wall full, looking for the re-engage. Wonder will get it on top of Pekka. He backs away into the fountain, but Splyce gonna turn their attention to the Nexus. Power of Evil trying to grasp at straws, but nothing they can do. Nexus falls. Splyce take the 2-0 over Origen.
Splyce with a dominating 2-0 victory are now 16-2 in their last 18 games. That is honestly flabbergasting. So impressed by the squad.
Absolutely ridiculous. And even coming into the week, saying that they were, what, 14-2 in their last 16 games was insane.
Yeah. What a, honestly, marvelous growth. And it's at this point that we need to leave the narrative of, oh, nobody expected, you know, this Splyce, and look at how they came in, you know, and I had them place 9. No. This is a top-tier team, and they're looking to improve. They have a sense of polish on their play, especially in their approach to kind of the macro game, which is very satisfying to see, because that's exactly what you need at Worlds. Because these styles where you play just the individual style and you want to individually outclass your opponent, it doesn't fly at Worlds. The players there are just too good. Like, the style of like trying to outclass the likes of, like, I don't know, Smeb, or like if you look at Looper at MSI, he was just, you know, the best top laner right there. Like, it just doesn't work for a lot of these people here. I think that's Yamato's brother, but I'm not sure that he's hugging there in the crowd. Would explain why they're double suited up.
Maybe he also makes good reaction gifts too.
Yeah, maybe it runs in the family. Maybe he's like a famous Viner.
Yes. Passed down through many generations of Yamatos. But OG, storyline also has to change for them.
Yeah,
like
from challenges to worlds, from worlds to challenger, circle complete.
Circle complete, and it's tough. It's really tough. Like looking towards that 7th place, looking for the gauntlet. Not looking for that anymore, really. Looking to.
No, this is promotion. Origen's going to promotion. I'm not sure if the maths pan out, if they can technically make it still, but I don't know. There's not enough growth here for Origen. I don't think they'll ever get relegated, though. I think they can easily make it back into the LCS.
Sure.
But it's such a tragedy to see a team with so much potential make it down this deep.
Yeah, it's depressing, honestly, seeing how.
It's not that depressing. I don't care that much, Pulse.
I do. I mean, like, I saw them rise coming out from Challenger. The whole story of them, you know, Challenger to Worlds, and complete opposite now. Like, it is depressing.
Yeah, for the players, definitely, it has to be a big mental blow. And that is the thing where I sympathize a lot, is some of these players go home week after week, and they say, like, yeah, if X or Y happens, we can still make it.
Yeah.
We can still make it. And that gap is just dwindling. And then your expectations and your kind of hopes, they go from, we can still make playoffs, to we can maybe make playoffs, or like, damn, we won't make playoffs, maybe 7th place. Nope, can't make 7th place, relegations. And it's a hit every week, and you've already been grinding for like 8-9 weeks straight, you know, practicing super hard every day, but everybody else around you is practicing equally hard or harder, and then you come to realization there can only be so many winners, and that is a very, very grueling task to deal with. So I really hope Origen and teams like Rocket too, you know, have the mental support for their players to catch them, because these are some tough times.
Exactly, and you can't let that get to you as you go into promotion tournament as well. Because then if you just crumble there, then of course it does.
The amount of players that I've talked to that went into promotion who are like, yeah, I'm done anyways.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch teams, or I'm done. Like, I don't even care anymore. Like, it is just a sad reality of professional play.
Tough to swallow, but interesting to follow. But for more on that series, let's head over to the analyst desk.
Nice.
That was fantastic, Pulse. Well, joining us from Splyce after that win is Wonder. Welcome, and congratulations, 2-0. That means that you've locked the bye, so you're going straight to semifinals. And you still have a possibility of getting 1st place over G2 tomorrow. First, tell me about that series. Why do you think you guys won relatively easily over OG?
I think in the first game, they were kind of caught off guard by the fact that we could help side lanes so easily. So like they died all over the place. And I think their macro in general was a bit off. Like we outplayed them and got towers we maybe shouldn't have. And even though we made some mistakes, like giving up mid tower way too easy, then I think the game was overall pretty controlled. So I think they kind of just flopped over and we just won.
Yeah.
So last week we had a chance to talk with Trashy, and he said that right now the best way to play the game is 1-3-1. Do you echo that sentiment? Do you think that it is the most efficient way? Because that seems to be what we're seeing a lot from your draft.
Yeah, I think the champs you play at the moment are really suited for 1-3-1. I think like you can of course play both styles, and oftentimes you won't always win side lanes, so you have to play something else. But I think in general, if you the best way to close out the games is probably 1-3-1 comms. So.
How are you feeling about your top lane meta with that going into the playoffs?
I think my top lane champ pool is pretty good. I think I can play almost everything. I've always been a player that could pick any champ up and just play it, because I'm just filling for my team. You know, this game or like these 2 games I played Shen, which isn't the funniest champ to play, but I can just ult my team and tank a bit. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
So for playoffs, you are likely going to be playing on patch 6.15. There are obviously a lot of big changes. It's going to affect macro in probably quite a big way. So how confident do you guys feel going into playoffs on that patch?
I've read a bit on the patch notes. I think it makes it almost impossible to lane swap. So it will probably be a lot more drafting strong lanes, and like if you don't have strong lanes, you just have to wait and stall out the game and then maybe lane swap when the towers can take damage again. So I think like strong junglers early will be good, and I think we have pretty good a pretty good meta for us.
Yeah. Bottom line is, do you trust your motto even with the meta change in the playoffs?
Yeah, of course. I think we are a really good team at adapting. So I think every change we can do well.
Okay. Wrapping up this series as we see Yamato there. I actually don't. Do you know who this is?
It's his brother.
Oh, okay. There we go. The brother for the support and the 2-0 for Splyce. Oh, fantastic, guys. Anyway, player of the game, Mickey. Last game it was Senkux, but well, Mickey X has been a fantastic, tremendous addition to your guys' team as well. Oh, by the way, what did you make of the Tahm Kench top lane?
I think Tahm Kench top lane is fine. I think when there's certain champs out in the pick ban, I think you can blind pick it, but I don't think it's better than Shen or anything. It's just a safe pick that can help Kog'Maw in this case. Like they had a Kog'Maw on their team as well, so they could just devour Kog'Maw and then like maybe win team fights, but they didn't. So I think it's fine, but it's not like it's just a safe pick. It's not top tier. So.
Okay. Well, sorry for taking the attention away from Mickey. Of course, congratulations for his player of the game. A final question, maybe. You now have 2 weeks off. Of course, not entirely. What are the plans for Splyce? When is practice beginning again?
I think we can take a small break and then come back. I think G2 is probably doing the same.
Whoa, now we've seen that before.
Yeah, we're not doing vacation stuff here, so I think we'll just take a small break and then come back to it, full practice.
Yeah, come back a bit rested. And over on EU LCS 2, meanwhile, the Giants took game 1 over Schalke, and that result has locked in all 6 teams for the Summer Splits playoffs. We're gonna take a look at the standings in just a second, but Vedius, you kept an eye on that first game.
Yeah, Hustling got first blood on a Taric, which was pretty crazy, but after that initial lead going over in favor of Giants, Schalke did start to bite back. It was a very big team fight in the bottom half of the map, which did heavily go in the favor of Schalke. They ended up getting 5 kills for 2 overall, which netted them a pretty solid advantage over the game. You can see the fight playing out right now where Schalke taking advantage of the fact that they killed one of the big carries very early on, but then Giants later on into the game found some big fights. They got themselves a Baron.
Is that a Rengar?
That is in fact a Rengar that ran Ghost, which is why Hustling was able to get that kill in the jungle. So always be aware, if you are going to run the Ghost, you are at a big risk of the collapse early on. But yes, Giants did have a very impressive performance, and it was pretty much another day in the office for them, even though it was a bit of a shaky start early on.
Yeah, and with that, we can take a look at the updated standings as all the playoff spots are now locked in. We see that we have a bye for G2 Esports and for Splyce, and then Fnatic, Giants, H2K, and the Unicorns of Love are our playoff teams. Wonder, what do you think of that kind of representation of teams in the playoffs?
I think actually every team who's in the playoffs right now, I think they deserve it. I think maybe Vitality could take it from Unicorns. Like, you never know. I think Vitality has been improving a lot, but I think the bias and like how the teams are at the moment, they're plays well.
So out of the 3-6, who do you think is the possible scary surprise dark horse that could somehow make it to the finals? Who's that surprise team?
I think it's always difficult to play against Unicorns. Like, they could always pull out something, but if Vitality makes it, I think they could be really, really risky to play against as well. HUK, they don't look too sharp right now, and they have some problems as well, it seems like. So I would say Vitality, Unicorns, and Giants are probably like the strong ones.
Vitality not in playoffs, but they could play in the Gauntlet, obviously.
And like, of course,
Yeah.
Fnatic. So I think Fnatic is like below us in G2, and then the rest comes after Fnatic. So.
Basically, you gotta be careful of everybody if you want to win the whole thing. We've got one match left to bring you here in the EU LCS arena. Thank you very much, Wonder, for joining us. Good luck in playoffs in 2 weeks. And for us here, the Unicorns of Love will load onto the Rift against H2K right after the break, so stay with us.
Yep. Man, I'm gonna play so good now.
Wow, he's been tagged down and he's ticking out from the
Yeah,
Ignite flash after auto attack. Mickey X onto the tower, but the tower shot goes onto Kobe. Soaz still chasing after Mickey X as well. Q comes down. Soaz finds a kill in return. Haha, Mickey! Double tempered fate. Finds Soaz. Knock up from Trashy. Should be able to find the second one to
Mickey!
forwards. And the shutdown out from Kobe. Splyce take the 2-0 over Origen.